Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived in a new era. Gone with the Switch 1, now we have the Switch 2. And we got a whole bunch of news to talk about. And by a bunch, I mean an hour-long direct. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the longest direct ever, right? But let's not waste any time, let's get right into it. Might I say, Mario Kart World looking like a total schnack right now. God, with so many of these games, I just want to go frame by frame because there's so much cool stuff being shown, but I want to keep it brief just because we got a lot to talk about. First of all, I love all the slight redesigns everyone has. They look very similar to like their 2D counterparts from like that old era, you know? And the new stages shown were really cool. Like the ski mountain, the one in the water, the Donkey Kong bars one. It's just all so new and open world as I can't handle it. Also, don't think I didn't notice those cars transforming. Can't believe we're living in a world where Mario is copying Sonic. Taking Mario Kart into an open level design direction seems like a really cool idea, and I hope it pays off because it looks so good right now. The idea of just being able to drive from one track and go immediately into the next one and being able to make it seamless, that's awesome. Although I'm curious what there is to do in these more open levels, because the goal is usually just to get the start and end of the race. So are there going to be like extra goodies? Are there going to be collectibles to find? Is there going to be a lot of single player content that warrants this? I don't know. Also, just look at this render. Is that my main man Mario popping a cold brewski? Also, the costumes on everyone look very nice. Just give me the option to put shades on everyone and I'll be happy. Also releasing as a launch title as expected. Very good to hear. And we're even getting a whole direct for it later on. It's been a hot minute since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but hopefully this will be worth the wait. I know for me it certainly is looking like it. And now we get to the whole C button thing, which I saw so much speculation videos on what this could be, how is it gonna work, what it'll do, yada yada. And honestly, I had no idea. My best guess was gonna connect to another console somehow or whatever. But having it be tied to game chat, now that's interesting. You know, it is cool, although I am very surprised how shockingly similar it looks to Discord. Like literally, that is the same UI and setup. Although again, this is such a weird one because this is something I've been wanting since I was like so little, actually having game chat on a Nintendo console. But now that we live in an age of smartphones and Discord and all these other apps and whatnot, it just doesn't seem as useful as it would be back then. Like, it's still huge that it's happening, but for me, it's kind of like too little too late, you know? But it is great that we're finally getting something like this. Although I'm just telling you right now, that mic is not gonna work as good as it does in the trailer. Also, the FPS in those screen shares are not the greatest look, not gonna lie. I get sharing with 4 other people would be causing some problems, but still. Also, having the camera be a separate entity altogether, that just seems a bit weird. Like, I didn't really use the camera all that much on my DS or anything, so I'm not really complaining, but it seems like something that's usually just built into the console itself, so it's kind of strange how it's not this time around. Though then again, maybe they couldn't do the hardware limitations, who knows. But I will say, being able to see yourself in your friends' streams and whatnot, that could lead to some funny moments. And naturally, you need an NSO subscription to do this. We all saw that coming, like, come on. And now honestly, I'm still a bit confused about this whole game share thing. Like, it's not the virtual share card they announced in the last direct, but it's something else entirely. It reminds me of the old DS download play, except I'm guessing this is a more modern version of that. I'd have to see more on how this works, but the idea of it is really cool. I definitely got my use at a DS download play back in the day, so a modern version of that, I will happily take it. But now we got the hardware specs, the real meat and potatoes. And I'm just gonna say, I am shocked with how much they crammed into this. I was thinking, okay, it's probably just gonna be 1080p, 60 FPS, and you know, better frame rate fidelity, all that jazz. But no, 4K 120 FPS. I am shocked they managed to pull that off. Not to mention HDR, plus the confirmation of mouse controls. Also, thank goodness we're getting a bigger storage size. 32 gigs simply does not cut it nowadays. Although I do find it a bit unfortunate I can't use my old SD cards in this console. I totally understand hardware-wise it was probably impossible, and that loading would have suffered if they did that, but it's still a tiny bit of a bummer for me. Although honestly, with 256 gigs, it's not as much of a deal as it used to be. Also, something cool that I've never even considered is they put a cooling system in the dock itself. That is such a smart idea. I'm surprised I never even considered that. Because obviously, overheating the system was going to be a big concern, but I thought they would just make the console bigger to put in more fans or whatever. I never expected the dock itself to be used like this. That's awesome. It's one of those things where it makes you look at the Switch 1 dock and be like, wow, they really didn't think of this before? It's one of those ideas where it seems so simple, yet when you presented it, you just go like, wow, you deserve a raise. And let's just hope and pray that Joy-Con drift is finally gone. And it seems like we're getting a tech demo in the form of a welcome tour. Well, it certainly doesn't look like no Astrobot or Nintendo Land. It looks like a fun little info game. Also, that red game cart do be looking snazzy, I can't lie. The Switch 2 Pro Controller also looking looking pretty good with the C button, headphone jack, and even customizable buttons. I mean, I love my Switch Pro controller I have. The battery life on it is insane. I don't know how it stays alive for as long as it does. So if this is the same as that, then I will probably be picking this up. And then we get the whole enhanced game segment, which honestly, I expected this to happen, but not to the scale of which they did it. I thought it was just gonna be regular performance boosts here and there, but no, they're adding like brand new content for these versions. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom support, a whole new mode in Kirby. They really didn't have to go this hard, but they did. Although I don't like the idea of having to pay for these upgrades. On one hand, these are kind of just like DLC packs, essentially, so it would make sense as to why you'd have to pay for them, but at the same time, I just want to play my old games on a more powerful system. Do I really have to pay extra to get an FPS boost in Zelda? I don't think the prices for the upgrades have been revealed, but I'm not a big fan of the idea in general. The upgrades are nice though by themselves, but then we get the first game to feature the mouse control support, which is basketball in wheelchairs. A very bizarre concept, but sure, why not? Looks like it could be funny, but bro, when I saw that Elden Ring is coming to Switch 2, I knew we were so back. It's so refreshing to see actual big AAA titles coming to Switch 2. Finally, power isn't as big of a concern as it was. Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, Demon X Machina, all so good to see. Also, did I just see Tony Hawk go into Bikini Bottom? I'm still in awe that we're finally at a point where we get these kinds of games on a Nintendo console. We also got something completely unexpected, which was a new Hyrule Warriors game. Like, okay, I was a fan of the first one. I actually liked it a lot. It was very fan servicey, but in a good way. It also had just so much content. But then about Age of Calamity, which I played for a little bit, it was alright. I didn't like what they did with the story. I felt like it was very misleading in the advertising, but the gameplay itself was fine. And it seems like this new game is gonna follow suit. I'm probably gonna pass on this, but I do think the concept is more interesting than the first Age of Calamity. Also, damn, between Echoes of Wisdom and now this, Zelda's getting a lot of the spotlight. Poor Link. But baby, we finally got it. We've been waiting so long for this, and now we have Nintendo GameCube games on NSO for Switch 2. I've prayed for days like this. I mean, come on, you got the higher resolutions, you got the online play with 4 other people, and you even got the 2 Pokemon games, which really shocks me considering that they're not on the Game Boy or Game Boy Advance emulators yet, but on this one they are. Oh my god, does that mean we'd actually use Pokemon XD to battle people online with? If they announce Pokemon Home support for that, that is gonna be awesome. And hey, why not? Here's some more Deltarune news. Truthfully, I've only played the first chapter and thought it was alright, but seeing how much people hype this game up, I can imagine how excited they are for this information. Also, Borderlands 4 on Switch 2, we'll love to see it. And then we just get a whole bunch of other games being announced for Switch 2, which usually these parts of the Direct would be whatever for me, but it's still the fact that these gaming companies now are able to do so much more on the Switch 2. I'm just in cloud 9, man. I can't hate. I can't hate. Plus, it's not like there's not enough time to showcase this. This is an hour-long Direct. My goodness, Cyberpunk on Switch 2? Never thought I'd say that sentence. We even got FF7 Remake. Oh look, it's that obscure game Silk Song. I'm sure people aren't freaking out about that. And then this one just came straight out of left field. A new From Software game that's exclusive for Switch 2? What? I'm not complaining, I'm just surprised. Already, we just have so many heavy hitters. But then, Kirby Star appears. It lights up. He gets on the star. It's Kirby Air Ride. I would have never expected this in a million years. Especially when Mario Kart World was in the making. But seeing Sakurai being the one to make it? Oh my god. We're so back. We're so back. The goat has risen from the ashes one more time to cook yet again. I never played the original Air Ride too much. I did a little city trial, but that's about it. But I will happily give this new game a shot. And one new game I'm definitely giving a shot is that new DK game. I simply cannot believe it's taken this long to get a new 3D Donkey Kong game. Just look at my boy. I know some people are indifferent about the redesign, but personally, I love it. I love how expressive his face is now. And just look at how chonky he is. Look at how much of an absolute unit he's become. He just looks so powerful in this, destroying all the terrain and obstacles that dare stand in his path. The monkey is back. Also, nice name. I approve. Gets gold star. And a July release date. I'll take it. I mean, as far as the Direct is concerned, this is goated. Like, they delivered so much for this. I am 10 times more excited for the Switch 2 than I was yesterday. It's the power of the system that still just has me in awe. 4K, 120 FPS. I can't get over that. I can't get over that. I'm just hoping and praying that these pre-orders don't sell out immediately. Although while I'm here, I guess I should talk about the things that weren't revealed in Direct, such as the pricing and whatnot. I expected the console to be $400, with the absolute maximum being $450. It ended up being $450, which, you know what? fine. And there's even a bundle with Mario Kart World installed. So again, I'll take it. But then I keep hearing reports about Mario World being $80? I'm sorry, but that's a bit much. Tears of the Kingdom 2 was already pushing it with a $70 price tag, but for this to be $80? That just seems like a giant leap in such little amount of time. I really hope that doesn't set a new precedent going forward, but if so, these Nintendo tariffs are not looking too great. But overall, I'm still happy. I went in with high expectations, and this exceeded my high expectations. I know I'm gonna try to get one day one. I wasn't able to with the Switch 1, but who knows, maybe this time the stars will align and I'll have one purchased. What did you guys think of this Direct? Are you impressed by the hardware? Any games tickle your fancy? Let me know down below, and until next time, see ya!